Greetings, fellow Gothamites. Tiki here.
And Blue Dragon 5.
And we're back to cover the Season 3 finale of Fox's retelling of the Dark Knight mythology. Entitled... Oh, God, it's such a weird title, Dragon, isn't it? Entitled Heavy Dirty Soul. Heavy Dirty Soul, Jesus. So join us as we venture into Batman's birthplace
and explore Gotham.
Okay, Dragon, no time to lose because there is a lot of stuff that goes down this episode, folks. So, of course, just a really quick recap of our current situation. I missed the Gotham finale by like a month. I was a little behind on it. Things got in the way. So we figured we'd try and make this at least entertaining. So you guys are getting my raw, essentially first reactions to the season finale about a couple hours after I watched it. And Dragon, of course, you want to set up what you were teasing me throughout?
But ever since Lee
injected
ever since Lee injected herself with the virus onward, especially episode 20, basically episode
20 was the big one, yeah.
The last 4 or 5 episodes of Gotham I had watched before Tiki, and basically at the end of 19, especially 20 onward. Every time I kind of hype up and just kind of recommend Tiki, you gotta watch it, and then and he'd try to kind of get some details out of it. I just, Tiki, you wouldn't believe me if I tried to describe what happens in these last 3 episodes, in episodes 20 onward. You just would not believe me. So you
were right. You were right.
Yep. So that's so finally we've reached the end of the rainbow, so to speak. So now we're going to the big grand finale, second part of the 2-part finale.
Okay, so it starts with Alfred dramatically being stabbed and Bruce instantly kind of coming to and realizing what he's done.
Yep. He snaps out of the Sensei's mind control, and Bruce is horrified. He watches Alfred die, which, again, really traumatic, I gotta
say. Right. Pretty intense way to start a season finale, if I do say so myself.
I know. I mean, it's a really awesome way to kind of come into things, like right where we left the dramatic ending of the previous part, and that's what we do, especially with
Dragon, that's kind of what threw me off of not knowing exactly where the last episode ended and this one began. But anyways,
so Raish is impressed with Bruce because again, Bruce snapped out of it to realize what he's done because again, he just kind of did instinctually, like, this is my destiny, I'm going to stab Alfred without hesitation, which he does. After Alfred gets kind of his last words out, he stabs him to the chest, and then kind of Bruce all comes flowing back. And the fact that he snapped out of this, so a lot of people are having issues with this. They want to set the record straight. So Raish is impressed with Bruce in this moment, as Raish would be, as he always is. Like the Raish will always, like, he calls Batman detective. He's super proud of that. Super proud of like Batman sees him as the most worthy adversary ever, which is how you should do it, Ra's al Ghul. So either way, I figure a lot of people say, well, wait, this is kind of a convoluted way of proving that Bruce is the rightful heir if he's just going to put him through mind control and at the end just have him snap out. And it's like, yes, he passed my test. I'm going to explain that. So either way, Ra's wins. He either has controlled Bruce Wayne or he's whatever. He just wants Bruce Wayne as his heir. That's the end goal. It's either going to be as a controlled puppet, still going to do everything he wants. Which, by the way, half the reason he wants Bruce is for the Wayne name. Is the fact that whatever Raish's grand design is, it needs Gotham. And having kind of the son of the elite family of Gotham would definitely help in that. So that's what the kind of the mind control thing would still pan out to what he wants. Mm-hmm. And the fact that like Bruce Wayne here was snapping out of this presents kind of a fun, unforeseen challenge. Like, oh, this kid's surprising me. So he's like, it's like a fun challenge. Like, okay, I can still work with this, but it's like he impressed me. I didn't think I'd have to do this.
Right,
so,
right.
That's what I took away from.
Yeah, I didn't have a problem with it, but then again, I'm not really like entranced in the comic lore like other folks might be.
Well, it's not a comic thing. It's just people looking at it just for what it is, just saying like, hey, it's I got issues with this. Again, it's not.
It's fine with it.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like the critics.
I think it makes sense, because Bruce. Again, I love the Dave Mizzou, he's just like, you made me kill Alfred. It's just like emphasizing like everything that's horrifying about the scene. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, because he's definitely gonna need Bruce to rebuild Gotham, and now he's seen there's something extra special in Bruce, so it's like reaffirming I chose the right person for this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so Bruce, because of this trauma just coming off, he refuses to ever become Raish's heir. Raish doubts that, given given that he now has seen the true strength of that Bruce has just shown to him now, and that it's in line with the prophecy. A lot of people are also having issues with the prophecy thing, which I'm going to give a shot just to see how it goes in season 4.
Yes,
So the prophecy is that, just to spell it out here, the prophecy is that an heir, there will be an heir to the demon's head that will serve as a knight in the darkness, hence the Dark Knight, which I thought was kind of a neat way to work the Dark Knight.
Yeah, yeah.
And again, just to talk about this, because now we just introduced race, so we didn't really get the breakdown race fully. Just to talk about it a little bit more, is that I do like kind of this new refreshing, because now we finally have a lot of answers to this new take we've had on Batman. We've been saying from the very beginning we're doing things differently. It's sort of like an Elseworlds, kind of an alternative take on the Batman mythology. We're doing things a little differently. And this is like a new spoke to the wheel, where we're kind of it's sort of like the Batman Begins idea we saw, but mixed in with kind of the Court of Owls conspiracy, making this whole new thing. That's kind of what it is, and that we're giving Batman a place of origin.
I like it.
Yeah, that Ra's al Ghul is responsible for Batman in many ways. The Court of Owls killed his parents. Ra's didn't kill his parents. I want to make that clear. Ra's did not order the Waynes dead. That was the Court of Owls overstepping. Right. But still, the idea that Batman was something orchestrated for the greater good of Gotham, and Bruce is kind of falling into that, but still falling in by his own way in terms of like what's driving his mission. So it's a cool way that also seeds this seduction to Ra's side. That's all throughout this episode, and definitely for future seasons. Anyway. So, okay, so let's see. After
so I forget exactly how Bruce gets the hint to use the water. I just have written down in my notes, use the water. It's kind of like an Obi-Wan Kenobi type thing, like use the water, Bruce. I don't know. Can you clarify that?
Yeah, this is shot so well the way they do this. So Bruce is like he's armed with the sword because he doesn't know if he's gonna have to fight this guy or not, and Ra's, she's in shadow because I love how mysterious we keep this Ra's al Ghul. He's so cool. He's like in the shadow, just talking to him, and he's kind of cackling, like, he killed the butler, and he's even stronger than I thought he was. Like Ra's is having a great time, and he's so confident, because he knows this.
We need a fun Ra's. You know what I mean? Like Ra's al Ghul has never really been a fun villain until now, I think.
I tell you, Tiki, in the animated series Ra's, that's David Warner at his. He plays the most most honorific Ra's, like, oh my god, he's so great. I'm jumping ahead. The point is, with Ra's al Ghul here, he's in shadow, and he's cackling, he's so happy-go-lucky, and because he's so confident, like, this boy's going to fulfill the prophecy, he's going to be my heir, it's going to be awesome. And we have this tense, cryptic, and we're infusing the supernatural in a natural way, in a way, like, we're not giving all the answers, but we're still having it be possible, because we have he's disappearing when basically Bruce kind of charges at him, and he's just the cloak. He's just like the cape, essentially. And before he disappears, like as Bruce charging at him, he recommends that he gives him the means to save Alfred, saying, "Use the pit, Bruce."
Okay, right, sure.
So then, when he says that, Bruce turns because he just heard the voice, and he stabs at him, and it's the cloak. Again, a little bit of a supernatural disappearance, as well as, hey, the pit works. So again, introducing the supernatural in a small way. We're not going overblown with it. So while it is crazy and all, we can get away with anything in Gotham. We're still a little vague.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
And just with the fact that Alfred's coming back with the revival of Alfred, it's nice that Ra's is providing him a way of saving Alfred, because this, in a way, was a test. It was a test of okay, well, I know he's still going to be on my side, and I'm building trust slowly with this new kind of plan he's working with here. I'm going to allow him to save his butler because he didn't want him dead, and I'm just going to build some points with him early on.
Right. Okay.
We homage The Last Crusade with how Bruce saves Alfred here, which this is the payoff of kind of making a Sean Connery inspired Alfred. That's what this Alfred's based off of, Sean Connery.
Sure.
So it's shot literally like Last Crusade, pours a little bowl full of Lazarus pit over the wound.
Right.
And I like this, the fact that it's a nice showing. He wasn't immersed in the pit. So Alfred was dead. He was dead, and usually the way you do this is you put him in the whole pit, you put him in the water entirely, and he will come back to life, and it'll be a little crazy before he snaps out of it. Now, like what we did with Jason Todd Under the Red Hood. But what we do here is just basically, it serves like kind of that adrenaline needle, and when someone's heart stops and they come back to life.
Mm-hmm.
It basically seals, it cauterizes the wound, and basically gets his heart, it stabilizes him, and gets him alive back to the land of living, but he still needs medical attention later on. So we're kind of doing a little taste of Lazarus pit here.
It's kind of like the best of both worlds between the full-on sci-fi and, and kind of a realistic scientific explanation for it.
It's like a nice little, like, it's a nice solid tease. Okay, so next scene.
Okay, let's see. So the blackout is still in effect. Jim gets a phone call from Lee, our favorite character.
I think you mean virus, Sticky.
What?
He said blackout.
Oh, yeah, I meant the virus. Yeah, I don't know why I have that in my notes. My bad.
And here's the other, like, mildly redeemable thing about Evil Lee here. I just like the way this scene's shot. It's shot, and again, Atacon is like such a noir. It looks so noirish. Like the detective comes home, and then there's like there's the beautiful woman looking all seductive and evil, and she's calling. And she's waiting for him, and I don't know. It just seems it's shot very noirishly. I don't know.
I mean, it's supposed to be like a noir. It's just at this point they've tarnished the any investment we could possibly see in seeing these people together. So
it's like almost like a Maltese Falcon type thing of like, hey, I'm leaving Gotham. If you want to come with me, by all means, because I truly love you. It's that.
No, like I said, I think that's definitely what they're going for. I just don't think they earn it.
Oh, sure, yeah. Again, mildly redeemable. So he's telling again, not in the grand scheme, just in the like cutoff scene. So he tells her about the checkpoints. Like, Lee, if you wanted to leave, you can't. They're having checkpoints all around the city. And
you want this as much as I do, Jim. We can finally be together without judgment or secrecy or jealousy. After all we've been through, don't we deserve that?
She wants the real Jim, no fight. Basically saying, hey, I'm taking the afternoon train. You want to join me? As long as it's the real Jim, no fighting. And I want to like see you fighting fighting your darkness. And
I won't leave you again, Jim. Tell me you'll be there.
Jim says he'll be there. Of course, not meaning it, but he says he'll be there. Ideally, he's going to stop her. That's why he's going to be there. So, Barbara.
Yeah. So let's see. Basically, it's a standoff, right?
Well, Barbara and company right now they have Tetch, and they're kind of plotting their they have demands, and they have demands that they're going to. I'm sorry.
It's not a. Yeah, you're right. It's not a standoff. They're planning the standoff. My bad.
Well, I'm sorry. Well,
taking my notes out of context.
Well, I'm screwing this up a little bit myself. Here's the thing. So Bullock and Gordon are talking about Barbara and company. They have Tetch. That's the thing they're talking about. They have plans.
Gotcha.
So, Bullock's telling Jim basically a little bit of exposition here that they have Tetch and their demands would bankrupt or claim the city again, like Fish Mooney's plan. If you were bankrupt or claim sections of the city, same idea. And they have no options. Then this great bit where Jim looks to the Penguin and so below. Again, we have that great proscenium stage thing. Again, the sets of Gotham.
Sure. Yeah, they've got a lot of mileage out of that.
He looks down at the Penguin and he gets an idea. And this is like the desperate Jim Gordon, who again, he's not. This isn't. Of course, he's fighting the virus, but at the same time, the virus is kind of wearing him down morally as well. That's kind of the eerie thing about it. It's like he's so out of options.
I like how Bullock just instantly sees what's wrong with this situation. It's like, Jim, come on, we don't have the authority to broker a deal that leads to the imminent death of a former mayor.
Yeah, because Jim would never do this in an ordinary circumstance. But again, he doesn't want to lose, doesn't want to become a monster.
He just goes off. He's like, I need to save Lee. Oh God,
a little random, I gotta say.
It is.
Because the intensity is all good. Like again, you see like Bullock's reaction to it. Here's just these little,
he says now or never, and then Bullock's like, one of these days, I'm gonna say never. Good line.
Well, before that, also just to establish the plan here, because I think it'd be clear what the actual plan is. So, basically, trade Penguin for basically a broker deal
for Tetch.
Yeah, go to Enigma. So Enigma would double cross Barbara and trade Tetch for Penguin. Yes, and we have this really great moment. Again, there's a really Ben McKenzie at his most desperate in the performance. They're saying just. He composes himself desperately and says, "Harvey, I don't have much time, Harvey. It's now or never." And then we have the Bullock's beautiful response.
Yeah. Sure. Okay.
Let's see. Moving on from that, former mayor.
Gordon's calling Enigma.
Yeah. Oh, we have the '60s Batman ringtone again for the last time. Yeah, Enigma's '60s.
Right.
It's funny.
And then in the background, as Enigma's taking the phone call, Gil Zeem is kind of begging. Let's see, he's begging. Yeah, I'm sorry, I have Babs. That was a typo. He's begging Tabs to kill Nigma. I knew that was wrong. Do you know, Nigma is Barbara's partner, and that's the mother of all insults. Go ahead.
Right. So what's kind of neat here is, like, Jim Gordon calls Riddler, and he basically says, "I have a proposition. Can you talk?" "I can listen." Again, like, kind of a cool, smooth way. If they think they're being so sly with this conversation, later on, it completely backfires on Jim's side of it. Which is a really funny punchline to this gag they set up. We'll get there. It's a really funny punchline, but it's a little subtle gag. If you blink, you miss it. But they set it up here, and you'll point out to it. So, while Enigma's being kind of informed about this deal that we already know about, Butch, wants to kill Barbara ASAP. For all the stuff that Enigma's done, he's still here. All the stuff that these two have done to us. Tabitha's reluctant because, of course, she has some loyalty with Barbara. And basically, Tabitha wants to play the wait. Like, let's wait for the city to be ours, and then we'll double cross. Then we'll go with this coup, this coup, if you will.
And as they're talking.
Yes, she doesn't deserve your loyalty. Then Babs enters. She's so excited about owning the town. I'm going to own, literally portions of the town. She's so
it's like she's playing live action Monopoly. It's like she's playing real life Monopoly. It's like, I've got Boardwalk and Park Place.
we have I can't believe I ever would say this about Barbara, but I literally can't believe I'm about to say this, but she has the moment coming up. You asked me in season 1. I never in a million years would have to make this reference. Okay. So she's asking where Ed is, and then it's revealed that
Ed just snuck off with Tetch.
Yep. And then she has a very Farmiga-esque.
I asked you to do one thing: watch a man tied to a chair. You idiots can't even do that.
The way she again, it's the most Farmiga-esque I've ever seen her, and that's saying something. It's a big praise coming there. Farmiga. I mean, it's still the most kind of loud, like, I asked you to do one thing: watch a man tied to a chair, and you idiots can't do that.
Right. That does sound like something that Norma Bates would say to Norman or something, right?
Oh yeah. Okay. So it's kind of fun. We had another Bates Motel casting pull in the previous episode. Now we have just Vera Farmiga mentioned here. So
right. Bates Motel. Okay. So anyways, Penguin's being marshed essentially to his doom, and he's trying to reason like, this does not have an above the board feeling to it, Jim.
This is funny, and it makes you really wonder how the dynamic's going to be, just given the stuff Jim's doing to the Penguin here, and the fact they really had a really tense scene in the last episode. We have a bit that kind of mirrors that Pierce scene from the first episode, where he's leading him, and Gordon's all pissed off at the Penguin. Penguin's like begging for his life desperately. It's a little reminiscent of that scene from way back when. He's leading a very nervous Penguin, doesn't have the above the board feeling, and he realizes that as a little Penguin's smart enough to put it together. You're handing me over to Enigma, aren't you? It's a small price to pay to see Gotham.
Oh God.
For you, maybe. For me, it's a very large price. But I like that we're still infusing some comics. I gotta wonder how much Penguin's gonna forgive Jim for killing Fish next season. We'll see.
We'll see.
But yeah,
I mean, of course, the virus is also a factor. So
true. I mean, he almost killed Penguin too, which might have set him straight a little bit. I don't know.
Right. Okay. So then, so Bullock is just like he's just amused. Not amused, but he's kind of cracking wise about the absurdity of the situation. He's like, oh boy, we got Penguin, Nigma, and Tetch all in the same place for a high-stakes hostage swap. What could possibly go wrong?
Now, there's this really funny bit, and this to me is like this to me is like the ultimate simplification of like a virus-controlled Gordon in a way. It's like one of those kind of Clay Gordon moments that the actual Gordon has.
Right.
It keeps cracking me up on the rewatch. Just him boiling, just him, Ben McKenzie. So Ben McKenzie saying, "What? It's gonna be fine." It's gonna be fine. The way he says, "What? It's gonna be fine." To a very, it's obvious this plan's not gonna go well at all. Just him. That's what gets Bullock saying. "Oh yeah, this is gonna go. What can possibly go wrong?" It's like, "Nah, it's gonna be fine." Just him trying to rationalize it.
Oh man, good
it's stuff. Like such like a tire. Like, it's gonna be fine. What are you worried about? Just, sure, Penguin's gonna get killed, but we'll go on.
God.
Okay, anyways, let's see. So then they arrive. So Penguin's very uncomfortable with this plan. He's like, "Fine, I'm a sacrificial lamb. I want to be a sacrificial lamb with dignity.
Right.
Do I have to be handcuffed?" And Penguin's threatening to make trouble. Like, I could be less cooperative, and basically cause trouble. And Gordon again, not really thinking because he's so desperate here. He's just saying like, "Do it and I'll kill you." Which of course they need him. So that's what Penguin immediately points out. Well, you're going to need me for the trade, so you're not going to do that.
Right. That's about as unnecessary of a threat as remember the season 1 gem with Bullock in the balloon man episode.
Bullock threatened to beat the guy to figure out how.
Tell me, kid, or I'll beat it out of you.
Literally to find out what the inevitability of any balloon is. The balloons, when they reach a certain atmosphere, they pop.
Tell me, kid, or I'll beat it out.
No,
To this day, that is the most unnecessary Bullock threat.
I think it was like the old guy. So I don't think it was threatening unnecessarily this old guy.
No, it was a kid.
Right.
Anyways, I'm pretty sure it was like a teenager or something.
Well, I think I actually know it was Corey Michael Smith from. I'm sorry, wrong. No, we had Selena's street friend. That was like the I could beat the answers out of this kid with a roll full of nickels.
That was.
And they had the old balloon vendor was the guy he threw. Like, how does a balloon work? That's essentially that.
Okay.
Anyway, sorry, get back on topic. So yeah, Bullock just wants to cut through and say, "All right, fine, just just cuts through. Like, we don't have all day." Just he unlocks the handcuffs, and now Penguin's above board. So, Thank you. Shut up. Just constant barrage of "shut up, Penguin."
Right.
All right, then Enigma has this great line when they all walk in. If it isn't my 3 favorite men.
Oh, God.
What's so great about the way Corey Michael Smith says it so genuinely because you absolutely believe, well, yeah, these technically are. It's a great line, but it's also a true line because these are his 3 favorite people in the show.
Yeah, he gets along quite well with them in spite of the homicidal tendencies.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. So, so obviously Riddler's very cocky. He's enjoying this. He's, you're Oswald. You should have realized your death at my hands was inevitable. Isn't that what you told yourself last time? Again, all these two bickering. It's fun. It's comedy. So then we have the Mad Hatter there with a grenade around his neck.
Oh God!
Chained around his neck.
The Hatter is just so pathetic in this last episode. You know what I mean?
He is, but he has like these great incessant bits of just he wants to get under Gordon's skin so much. It's funny. So basically he has the grenades there for insurance.
Yeah, you try anything and I pull the pin. Very simple, very cut and dry.
Jim's very impatient, which definitely is an indicator to the Mad Hatter, and he loves pointing this out. So again, Penguin absolutely.
You're infected, aren't you? Oh, what joy! Yeah.
If Penguin didn't know from last episode by nearly getting killed by Gordon, he definitely knows now. He just sees. I just love the coach. He can see the virus in people, and of course, he can see it on the person that's been the bane of his existence this whole season. He's so elated that, oh my God, Jim Gordon's affected by the virus. Merry Christmas!
Or Christmas in July, should we say? Anyways.
So, Barbara then enters.
Yep.
Enigma!
Oh God! And this is where it kind of goes off the rails, but in kind of a fun sort of way. I don't know.
So it's revealed. This is like the fun. This to me is like a fun, subtle joke that they have in there. So Barbara enters and she's like, Enigma. Someone's asking him, "Well, how did you find me? Are you pleased? I have the GCPD I have the cops on the payroll." And then she has this. This is the gag. She tells Gordon. She mocks Gordon for like his growly, and Ben McKenzie has done this, so it's a fun inside joke.
Right.
Oh, and yeah, hey, honey, it's this. When you're making a secretive call, don't use your inside growls when you're making a secret call. And then here's the funny bit I realized in the rewatch that cracked me up. If you look, Penguin, Riddler, and even the Mad Hatter, they give a glance to Gordon like, really? That's yes. Like you're the one. It's just I don't know. It's like funny. So like putting all the blame on Gordon. I forget if like Gordon like notices this or not. Just might give like a look of like, what? It just happens. Anyway, it's a little funny.
Okay.
You either catch it or you don't. So anyway, so we have a fun after that fun little gag there. Then we do have a serious look though, where like Jim gives a look to Enigma, where then he realizes, okay, Plan B. Basically goes for the grenade and he tosses the distraction. Nice little bit of like Gordon instructing Enigma, hey, distraction.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's all chaos. There's shootout going on.
And
Enigma's
they
pursuing
fight.
Enigma's pursuing the Penguin, who's trying to get away. The main crux of this fight's a search for Tetch. You know, Tetch is our bargaining chip. Don't let the GCP to get away with him. Mm-hmm. Penguin knocks out the Riddler as he got out first, and just bangs, passes him on the back of the head with a pole or something.
Oh yeah.
Jim and Bullock with the Mad Hatter, they try breaking for the exit, and then this hilarious thing where Penguin's waving as he steals the police car, just driving away, just like waves. So like, hey, see you guys. You're just
lots of moving parts in this finale, I must say. A lot of different plot threads going on.
Yeah.
Okay, and speaking of different plot threads, we have a brief interlude with Bruce and Alfred at the hospital. Bruce kind of waiting for Alfred to wake up, hoping that he wakes up.
Well, he's getting him into the ICU.
Oh, right yeah, now. I'm sorry. Right, yeah.
So the doctor's asking, like, well, how the heck did you cauterize this wound? Of course, he doesn't want to, like, borderline magic.
He doesn't have an answer, yeah. Literally, yeah, the answer is it's magic. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Okay. It's like, I think. They ask him, this is a really nice, like, subtle bit, just indicating, like, the connection Bruce has with Alfred, saying, what's your relation? And there's a moment of pause, and he's like, we're family.
Yeah.
Really nice.
Yeah. You know, okay. Like Fast and the Furious movies. Family, bro. I'm sorry.
A family that ambiguously and very obviously turns on them in a certain sequel in the franchise.
Right. Anyways.
Because we got that many movies that have driving fast cars. Because
I haven't seen any of them past number 2. Anyways.
I'm just saying, hey, what car stunts can we do now? And espionage in cars and stuff with cars.
All right.
And restaurants with cars, anyway.
So Gordon and Bullock are kind of running with the Hatter, basically kind of trying to cover him, right?
Yeah, on foot, too, which is kind of... It's kind of sad, but at the same time, it's kind of like, French Connection, like, just run around.
Right.
They're pursued by Tabitha, and the rest of the gang is shooting at him, and Jim's using his strength to break a lock of it's either a scrapyard or an auto shop, because there are cars there, so probably an auto shop.
Mm.
Yeah, they duck in there. They're going behind cars and stuff, and kind of going behind like a lot of the equipment.
Mm-hmm.
Barbara's taunting Jim about he and Lee both being infected by the virus, and mentioning the callback Lee's little visit from the previous episode.
You ever think about ripping anyone's head off, Jim?
Is it weird that this kind of makes me like her? Talking about like ripping her head off, just like that threat. Like, is it weird? It kind of makes me like coming from Barbara. That's a hilarious line, I gotta say. A lot of people were a little frustrated with what happened with Barbara this episode, and we'll get there. Not a lot of people, at least a section.
We'll get there.
For certain expectations with Barbara this episode. A lot of expectation on Barbara this episode.
All right.
So Mad Hatter's taunting. This is the bit I love here. The Mad Hatter's taunting Jim while they're all taking cover like behind like a little like a handyman station. I don't know, somewhere. So Mad Hatter's taunting Jim about the next time you give in to the virus, it'll have you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Bullock's telling him there's no escape. We got no escape route. It's not going to end well for us right here. And then you have no choice but to give into the darkness. And it kind of occurred to me.
Once again, Gordon's kind of trigger happy. He just threatens him with a knife.
Well, no, with those screwdrivers, even worse.
Right, which is even more scary.
And we know what he does with that screwdriver. So it's God. But before we get to that, real quick, though, I want to point out it kind of occurred to me, and this episode really ties things together really well on the rewatch. Better than I thought it did, because we actually, Jim's arc and Bruce's arc actually is very similar. And what we're doing here, we're basically Jim kind of giving in the darkness, and we saw Bruce under mind control, kind of giving into his darkness as well before Jim.
Mm-hmm.
Well, being working under the senses control and everything. So I'm saying we're kind of doing a similar parallel between Jim and Bruce there. So it's kind of neat. Kind of occurred to me in the moment. So anyway, right. So Jim's really ticked off. He threatens him with the screwdriver. Mad Hatter reveals, and I love this accidentally because the Mad Hatter just loves to talk. He loves to talk and knows Alice in Wonderland stuff. He accidentally reveals the important detail they need, which is like his only leverage. He basically mentions that the cure is in his blood. He mentions that his blood leads is key for the antidote. They have to mix his blood with whatever antidote stuff.
Oh God!
And
they need him, but they don't need all of him.
Yep. And
Jim, you sick bastard, you.
So I love this bit. Jim's not sure he can fight it, especially with the man who's tormented him this whole season. Tetch is the reason his whole life's been getting ruined this season, left and right. This Jervis
Oh yeah,
Tetch.
for sure.
We need him. Jim calms down. He goes out of the virus mode, but he's still like that morally reprehensible actions in this episode. Yeah, but not all of them. And then he puts his hand over his mouth because he's about to do something really painful to him. And off screen is he hears screams which indicate where he is in location. Barbara and the gang find him, and he's, oh god, it's so horrifying. Tetch is unconscious, and he's tied to, again, initially I thought he was dead, but he's tied to this dolly with duct tape around his neck. Basically like duct tape as bandaging around his neck. And the idea is that Gordon took that screwdriver, they stabbed him, and basically they drained him. They drained him blood, and they taped it up best they could so they could leave. They filled it with blood in a mason jar.
Oh man!
Again, then Barbara's gonna gives him like, Jim, you're sick SOB essentially. Even for me, that's screwed up.
And then that leads to the GCPD. Back to the GCPD. The great line. What? Ain't you ever seen a mason jar filled with blood before?
It gives the blood to the lab tech so he can make the antidote. Now they have the missing component of the antidote.
All right. So
Jim's not doing so well after the violent act, because now again he's just even more and more in that virus mode. It's just coming and going.
Mm-hmm. So Nigma wakes up in the cop car, and Cobblepot is just he's having so much fun. He's like, I'll admit, Ed, I'm sort of improvising. I don't know what I'm doing. There are so few moments of pure joy in one's life. I feel compelled to savor this one.
This scene is, I really love how this scene's framed. We have like the rear view mirror, and we have like kind of the cage shot. Kind of those two perspectives we keep going back and forth with.
Right.
And what's also really neat is I was really psyched about this in the promo, but I mean, I know it's not the same thing, but still it's a cool foreshadow. Like we got the top hat, remember that Enigma's hallucinating the penguin in a song and dance number?
Mm-hmm.
And here we have a great bit where he's putting on like kind of Enigma's black hat, and it looks very much like the penguin hat in the mirror. Because the top's cut off.
Yeah.
I would say it looks really good in that hat. Again, it's like, give Penguin a hat, man. Give him like a little brimmed hat.
That's what he's been needing the whole time, right? Like a hat and a cane.
That's the only thing. And the monocle, but I'll sell for the hat.
Right.
Yeah, he's had the umbrella. The umbrella is essentially his cane. Enigma needs the cane. Enigma desperately needs a cane.
Oh, that's right. Enigma needs the cane. Sure, of course.
Anyway, but yeah, still, give Penguin a hat, darn it. Anyway. So, let's see. So, yeah, name is... and while this is going on, Penguin's like so out of his mind gleeful. Riddler's reaching in the backseat looking for anything to kind of pick the lock with, because as we know, I love that we set this up. Riddler is really good at picking the lock, and he finds a little pin. We're gonna find out what that pin is later on, because he finds a little pin miraculously in the backseat. He's picking the lock. Convenient or plotted. So let's see. So after we get the hat shut in the mirror.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Dragon. You're right. I just have written down in my notes. I love Penguin with the hat. It looks super stylish on him.
I know, it looks really good, right?
Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. I like reading my notes kind of jogged back just how classy it looks. Yeah.
And basically, and this is kind of a fun setup here that we know Riddler's going to find a way out of this Penguin's thing. Oh, it must be killing you knowing you're not as smart as you think you are, and with all your plans led to this moment. And he's just like, oh well. And of course, we know he's picking a lock. He's going to get the upper hand.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Meanwhile, Barbara and company.
So Gilzean's really panicked. Let's see. They split up and regroup, and then regroup and do what? Whatever the hell I tell you to do. And
then Barbara's definitely losing it.
And then Gilzean's like, that's it. Not waiting. She's going. She's dead.
We have this nice bit here. I believe Tabitha genuinely does have feelings for Butch, absolutely. That she kisses Butch and she's like, look, yeah, I understand we need to do this now, but let's just do it together. Don't do it without me.
Yeah, sure.
Meanwhile, Jim's trying to wear the virus and basically channeling his violent, the violent kind of killer tendency.
Is that what he's doing? Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, he's just like punching out lockers and stuff, like trying to get it out of his system.
That's literally what he's trying to do. He's trying to kind of get it out of his system. I mean, you can also look at it just the over the top thing, but again, it's what's wise. Just keeping it into the locker room, not just like out in the open. It's just, he's unleashing it so he can kind of get the red out of his eyes, essentially.
Right.
So let's see. So then he's really taken out on Kowalski and Kowalski and Burroughs' locker, which Bullock points out, like, oh, they're really ticked off when he saw what they did to their lockers. They're working on the antidote now. Jim is really on a time crunch because he wants to get the antidote to Lee as soon as possible, so he can ideally save her. And also, he doesn't want someone with the virus out of Gotham. That'd be dangerous.
Sure.
So let's see. There's a dose ready now. Well, for Jim, there's ideally ready for Jim. They only have one ready at the moment. The rest are on their way. It's going to take at least an hour or two to make.
Could take a couple hours. Yeah.
1 to 2 hours to kind of make the rest. And he wanted to take it, but Jim says no. But that's not an option. I can't wait. I can't wait hours. We got to get this to Lee now, and I need 2. There's only 1, so he takes the 1 and he traps Bullock and the lab tech. That poor lab tech is kind of. I hope he doesn't break his arm. He really crunches. It really hurts that guy.
Oh God!
So then he traps. Rips the handle off the door, traps Bullock inside because he knows Bullock's going to stop him. Make him take the antidote instead of giving it to Lee. So no one stops him anyway.
All right, so we get a scene with Bruce and Selina in the hospital. I gotta say, Drag, I'm kind of getting a little sick of this back and forth with these two.
I'll say this. I think they did. Let me say this. It's continuing on the problem. Basically, we're having the flip side of the problem where Selina's just like not. She's not cutting Bruce any breaks, and now we're having Bruce not cut Selina any breaks.
Exactly. Just flip swap back and forth, and it's just getting a little tiresome.
It's not ideal, and the situation really doesn't lend itself to. I'll say I think this is the best they could in the midst of like a finale. I think it's the best they could probably work that problem in the last of it.
Yeah, I hear you. I mean, I don't even necessarily think you needed to address it in the finale.
I'm sure.
There's so much stuff going on, it almost feels a little out of place.
I figured just to set up the Catwoman stuff later on. I think that's why we had to put her in the. Well, anyway.
I mean, yeah, you're right. That makes sense. But all right,
that's the only reason it seemed to be super necessary. Anyway, so Selina in her new jacket.
Yes.
Checks on Bruce and Alfred. Bruce is in a really bad state because he almost killed his own.
He killed Alfred.
Yeah, brought him back.
Almost. Yeah, I mean, he brought him back, but there's no almost about it.
Sure, yeah, he did. He killed Alfred. He's really feeling guilt-ridden about that, and the fact that Alfred, while he's alive, he's not in good shape right now.
Right.
So the point is, Alfred's because of Bruce, and he's telling Selina to leave. And here's the thing: I'm coming down lighter on this scene that I guess I probably should, because I feel that Bruce is justifying a lot of what he's saying here. Because Selina just can't walk back into his life. Basically saying you can't just walk back into my life to pity me now and again. As you keep walking out every time I try to help you, you go away, and that's what she keeps doing. She keeps saying, over a stupid reason, she turned on Bruce, and she's like, no, I don't need you anymore, Bruce Wayne. I don't want to see you again.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it's kind of fair that Bruce gets to kind of say this to her. I mean, Bruce, but at the same time, Bruce really needs someone in the scene, but he can't trust Selina because she only needs Bruce when she's only there for Bruce when it's convenient for her.
I mean, I don't entirely buy that, though. Like, I do think there is some genuine affection there. Hence the moment, like, what she says. She's like, he says, like, you don't really know me. And she's like, no, he said, I thought, shit, I'm blowing this dragon. I'm sorry.
I know you're saying. You're saying that essentially it's that Selina, Bruce says, I know you, Selina. And then she says, I thought you did.
Yeah, that's a cutting line, and I while I do agree with you, Dragon, that the relationship is built somewhat out of self-preservation, I definitely think there's an element of genuine affection and caring there as well. So.
I'm not saying there. I'm agreeing with you there. There is genuineness. I'm just saying, well, Bruce kind of he's thinking more logically. He's just trying to cut her out because he doesn't want to deal with walking in and out of his life constantly. Well, there is a genuine kind of there's something there. Definitely, there's something there.
Uh-huh.
It's just right now. I mean, he can't even trust himself right now. So letting alone just kind of trusting Selina, can't really let anyone in right now, and he can't even explain to her what happened. He can't really explain to anyone what just happened. So and
magic water, it was crazy.
Yeah, and he calls her on being for herself, which again that's the true thing about it, which is he's kind of adding kind of feelings of betrayal on top of the fact that she is at the end of the day a lot of times out for herself.
Mm.
Which again, that's basically what he's doing is accidentally he's fueling her on the Catwoman path, which he really shouldn't do. But right now, being in such a bad state, he's not giving her the reception that he should, that ordinarily he would.
Right. Sure.
Again, she genuinely cares for Bruce, but she's grown up knowing she can only trust herself in life, but now Bruce is kind of shaking that world. I'm talking in circles on that point. She mentions that she's about surviving, and we have the whole I know who I really am, and that's where we start really. I wasn't crazy how it played in this moment, but that's an important question all throughout this episode, especially to Bruce. I love that it starts this running theme in the episode, knowing who you are.
Okay. All right, so let's see. So Gordon's back with Lee. Lee can tell that he's still fighting it. I want you and all your darkness, Jim. Be in and give in and be free. And then things start getting a little intimate.
Yep, and then before Jim can inject her with the antidote, she stops him and essentially she stops him from injecting her right off the bat. Then she kisses him, and basically that's just kind of him giving into the darkness in the moment. She takes the antidote, she breaks it.
Okay, let's see. So Oswald is just continuing his gleeful, just he's so pleased with himself while Nigma continues to pick the lock to the handcuffs. And then, oh God, this is great from Nigma. Don't you get tired of making the same mistake over and over? Instead of killing me, you decide to feed your ego. And then, of course, that amuses Oswald. He's like, you want to talk about ego, Riddler? Again, that's great because it's the only time that he says Riddler in the season.
Yep.
Good payoff with that. Let's see.
And again, this is Nigma then goes into a manipulation of Penguin here, as he's he basically kind of manipulates the Penguin by kind of sharing some really deep and personal truths. And I love that. And this, honestly, it's just I'm going to backtrack a little bit. It's relevant. And it's what we're doing here with Nigma and Penguin is really how we should have approached the whole Lee Gordon thing, even if we're mainly for the virus, but also for the whole time. This is how you really address kind of the looking at realistic chinks in the relationship, looking at the faults of the other person and the dynamic. Because right now what they're doing here is that Enigma's pointing out that, hey, you're driven by your emotions, hate, anger, fear, and love. That's your emotions drive. That's always going to be that's why you always fail, Oswald. And of course, Enigma, of course, it's intellect and having these planning, which we get to a little bit later on.
Mm-hmm.
I was saying, I think had the Jim Lee thing been kind of taken that direction, I think it might have played out a little bit better. Would have felt less like, hey, we're wrapping up the storyline in the last episode versus, hey, we're actually going somewhere with this, like the Penguin Riddler thing is. Then it gets really personal when he brings up the whole, the real reason I can never be with you, Oswald, because you have tantrums.
You're a spoiled child who throws a tantrum anytime you don't get what you want, especially when what you want doesn't want you back.
And that is like the manipulation he needs to get Penguin to stop the car, which he does. And then he gets the upper hand by kicking the door open.
Prepare for one massive tantrum.
It's like that sort of like father, like, I'm going to turn this car around.
Right.
So as he stops, of course, Nigma then gets the upper hand, and as the gun pointed at Penguin, and Raul Nortero is playing this beautifully, especially with the information we know is going to be revealed later on. That's not possible. No, it's my turn to kill you. And he takes his hat back. I just love how it's so childish the way he takes that hat back, like my hat.
Right.
I'm always going to
fail because you'll never change, and at least I know who I am.
And again, there's that idea going on there. Of knowing who you are.
And then this is great. It's like Penguin is getting at it. Like, that day was the moment you were reborn. Talking about the day that Nigma killed him, and that moment was a lie. Your entire persona is built on a lie, and there's nothing you can do to change that.
Yeah, that line to me is great, and I also want to acknowledge I love the kind of the and we're paralleling this story with we're paralleling a lot of stories with this theme of identity. Of course, we have Bruce, we got Jim with the whole virus thing, we have Bruce with the whole League of Assassins, Sensei thing, and we have Nigma kind of looking for his identity. But characters like Penguin, know who they are from the start.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying, the kind of our trio of stories all kind of center around the same thing. But yeah, that persona based on a lot of things also really it's it's just a great way to kind of just like spell that in the best possible way.
Right, good stuff, good stuff.
And you can't change that. And then he has this gleeful smile when he realizes, actually, maybe there is. That's it. Then we transition to the checkpoint, and I gotta say again, out of context, but
the image of them in sunglasses, kind of like walking into. It's kind of like Mr. and Mrs. Smith-esque in a way.
Yeah, it is. That's what it is. You hit it right on the. I forgot about the Mr. Yeah, it's the perfect way. I didn't know how to frame it, but phrase it. But it's a kind of a neat entrance with the sunglasses. It's
yep. I'll agree. They look cool.
I gotta wonder. I mean, I don't want to infer too much about their personal lives. I can imagine Ben McKenzie and Ray Backman's gonna be like kind of watching home movies this season with their scenes. Like, oh yeah, hey, I remember when we did that. And like, oh yeah, we were playing It's So Evil that day. Huh?
Oh God.
I gotta imagine that's the big takeaway. That's just gonna be like reflecting on the. Oh yeah, we did. It got so crazy in the end, didn't it?
Right. Oh,
yeah, it looked like a monster movie, and then you injecting yourself with a virus and wearing sunglasses. Oh, it's so wacky. Anyway.
So as they're going to the terminal, Bullock's like pushing people out of his way, yelling to stop. Lee's saying, like, you can't let him stop us, Jim.
Yes. And then basically she's going to get on the train while Gordon's going to hold off Bullock.
This kind of reminded me of like a Sam Raimi Spider-Man moment here, where Bullock pulls the gun on Gordon, and then that random lady in the train is like, "No, we're going to be delayed, aren't we?" Doesn't that seem like a Sam Raimi Spider-Man thing?
It seems very much like a Raimi Spider-Man extra. Yes.
Yeah.
Like we always have those.
Spider-Man stole that dude's pizzas.
There's always that one guy in the Raimi movies that has like the line or has like kind of that memorable bit.
Right. Anyways,
always that like we won't tell nobody, Mr. Spider-Man.
Oh well, that's emotional. I'm talking more the citizens like can't give Spider-Man a break. Anyways.
It's a web.
Dude, I seriously that we won't tell anyone. That's a
I'm with you. That's a great moment. I'm just like saying the extras really bringing the extra mile, like really a memorable quality to it. So even Phil Lamar's in that movie.
Yeah. You mess with one of us, you mess with all of us.
Yeah. Anyways. Oh, boy. We're going to a Spider-Man 2 Love Fest. Plus, it's Homecoming's imminent, so we can't just.
Jeremy John's Homecoming review was so glowing. I can't wait. Anyways.
Okay. Anyway, let's see. Getting back on point. The point is we have like a really well shot kind of showdown here between Bullock and Jim.
Mm-hmm.
Bullock is begging Jim again. This to me, the Bullock Jim Gordon stuff really did get me kind of emotional, especially at the end.
Yeah. The badge is who you are, Jim. You're the best cop I've ever worked with. You're the best friend I've ever had.
Oh God, yes. It's just,
if you love Lee, then save her.
Yeah. It's just this great thing where he's just begging him, like, don't make me put you down. He's throwing him like between he throws him into two trains, which is kind of
which is an awesome action beat.
It is, and he's like punching the trains, and you think, oh God, he's gonna punch poor Bullock's head. But yeah, it was when the moment here, and now you got me thinking of Spider-Man 2. It's very much kind of like one of those. It's the Doc Ock. It's not the same exact moment. It's sort of that. It's like him reaching him with that one thing, kind of like how he reached him the whole, you spoke of intelligence, Dr. Octavius. It's that sort of thing. It's kind of with that moment.
Right.
For this, where basically it's this beautiful bit where I just love that visually boils down to the badge, and I love that we kind of hinted at that with the Barnes thing. Barnes, holding the badge as a distraction.
Mm.
And he's telling you, this is who you are. It's your choice, and this the idea that Jim made the choice way back when not to be corrupt and to save Gotham in season 1. It really boils down to that season 1 perspective. And Bullock never imagined things would go this horribly with Jim. He never imagined Jim would be this far. He's no longer that wet behind the ears rookie. He's in such a dark.
Yeah, exactly.
He's pulling him out of it. It's such a great scene. The best couple I've ever worked with, the best friend I've ever had. Just beautiful moment way to reach Jim, and then and he tells her to go save Lee. And he takes the badge. Importantly, he takes the badge. That's gonna be a big plot point.
Mm-hmm.
Takes the badge and he fake out punch, and then we have Jim joining Lee on the train. Jim finds, and this is like Bullock saved the day in the end. Like Bullock had the 2 antidotes there. It's so nice that handing him the badge, he handled the means of kind of happiness.
That's nice. That's nice, right?
The 2 antidotes, and this kind of moment where Jim makes that choice here. He tells Lee that he loves her, and he injects her in the neck, and there's that bit like, "What are you doing?" And again,
I want to be evil.
I gotta tell you, out of context again, it's shot really nice.
So ridiculous. I'm sorry, go ahead.
It's really shot nicely here, where it's, he just kind of holds her hand, he injects himself into the two of them, kind of like on the train, like kind of that life they want to have together, they can't have together. Again, bear in mind, out of context, again, it's really nice.
No, I mean, to tell you the truth, even in context, it kind of it doesn't work as well as if like this whole relationship was kind of driven into the ground. But still, I think for the history these two have together, the scene does work. So, I'll give credit where credit's due. Anyways, all right. Well, actually, so Gilzy, yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry, I want to hit something because all right. I'll save it for later. We'll see what it goes.
Okay. So let's see. We have Gilzine versus Babs, right?
Yes. Okay.
I love how Barbara is just like so callous about of course I know you two have been plotting to take me out. You've been whispering like teenagers for weeks. Come on. Do you think I'm stupid? Oh, Butch, you shouldn't have waited.
And Butch goes on a thing here, he's kind of getting his last digs in on Barbara, saying, I know why you're taking shots at me all the time. For all your talk, you miss her loyalty, you miss her strength. She made you better, and you sacrificed that to play queen for a day. But if it helps, and you're right, it's really, and if it helps, you never deserved her in the first place, which then leads to this moment that initially, I'm sure you had the same reaction as I did. We had a huge collective no after Butch is shot point blank.
To tell you the truth, my reaction was first I was like, no, and then I was like, well, at least Lee didn't kill him. That was honestly my reaction. I was like, well, at least with the Barbara thing, it was boiling up, and it wasn't just Lee randomly I'm gonna take the virus and then and then randomly kill a side character that I've never interacted with. You know what I mean? So it's if Gilzine did die here, I'd be like, okay, well, that's at least, they at least built to that. So, anyways.
And it's really just, I was so no, not Butch. Thankfully, we had a really great payoff to this. I'm so happy with the payoff, and it's such a great, I was so happy with it.
Oh, yeah.
Just like that, no, not anyone but Butch, not Butch.
Not Alvarez.
I'm saying, come on, compared to Alvarez, you're like, not Butch.
I'm just joking. Yeah.
Okay, so let's see. Bruce is telling a bedridden Alfred to fight. He can't lose. He can't lose.
I don't know if you can hear me, but if you can, Alfred, you need to fight. I don't know what I would do without you. Oh, yeah.
We have this thunderstorm that's kind of starting here, and of course, kind of the storm's coming kind of vibe.
Mm-hmm.
Nigma's taking Penguin to the.
I love the full circle nature of this dragon.
I told you, I love that we keep coming back here. Enigma takes Penguin to the pier, the symbol of kind of that make or break quality of Gotham. That's sort of it's
absolutely
the place of rebirth. You have to leave Gotham to come back to it, sort of vibe. It's a place of creation. So Enigma is overjoyed. He feels he feels great doing it again, but doing it right. I'm actually gonna kill him this time.
And I love how Penguin mind fucks with the Riddler here.
Oh, yeah. This is so
Any last words? Maybe. Yeah. I'm good.
I'll save this. I'll wait later. I'll wait till later.
Yeah.
No, Oswald, you don't get it. There is no
you don't get it. This is the one chance you. Yeah, totally noted. It's fine.
I'm not gonna let you ruin this for me. I have some last words, Oswald.
Oh God.
Goodbye, Oswald. So then we have the gun reveal. I'm going to say this. This is the Kingpin moment for Penguin this season.
Yeah, it's a great trick for sure.
Oh, yeah, this is so good. I love this gun reveal. This is one of Penguin. Might be I don't know, I got to think about it. I didn't really kind of consider all the other Penguin moments. This might be the best Penguin moment. I don't know. It's really good.
I wouldn't go as far as to say
that's the thing. I mean, I got to go through
a good Penguin moments.
That's the thing. This is a really strong Penguin season.
It is. Yeah.
Anyway, so let's see. So Penguin. Okay, so basically it's revealed that the gun is empty and Penguin had all the bullets. That's the Kingpin. That's the Kingpin moment of it all, right there. He shows all the bullets. That's the forward thinkingness of it all. He removed the bullets. It's revealed then that he called Freeze and Ivy, who are then appear from behind, which is why they're at this location. It's revealed, and basically Nigma's questioning here and there, the pin, my tie pin, make it a personal touch.
Mm-hmm.
And you made me think I had the upper hand. Basically made Riddler think he had the upper hand. Riddler's questioning, how did you know Barbara would show up at the warehouse? I didn't. You know, it would have been, it would have been all over for me then. Yeah, I would have been handed off and you would have killed me. Fortune favors the bold.
Oh, God.
You knew I'd bring you here. And basically, what I love Corey Michael Smith's doing here. I like that you. And I'm reading into this a little. I think because they're playing Penguin's theme. They're playing that beautiful Penguin theme they have in the show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's that really good, like kind of all the operatic Penguin. Penguin always had that operatic theme they're kind of playing here. And I think what they're saying here is that Riddler is starting to fall in love with the Penguin here.
You think? Okay.
Honestly, I
like
think
that. I like that.
I mean, I think Riddler, while he is frustrated by this, as Riddler would be, I think at the same time he's impressed by kind of how Penguin outsmarted him here, which is it's the way to win the Riddler over.
We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, we'll see. Anyway, so I used to kind of finally return the affection, but when it's too late, that's kind of the idea. Mm-hmm. Penguin's now over the love, and now Riddler's kind of started on that might be where they're going with it. We'll see. That's what I took from the scene. Anyway, so again, it's you knew I'd bring you here. I know you. Now here's the moment where I think it's like this is where the love thing I think comes in. I know you, Ed. I may be driven by emotions, but you're driven by something far more predictable. And this is such a great Kingpin-esque moment here for Penguin. I keep saying it's the only way I can describe it. I'm sorry. I just think this compulsive need to complete what you've started in an exacting fashion.
Oh yeah.
And here's where it boils down. I just love this as a brilliant way to see who would win in this war between the Penguin and the Riddler. Penguin, at the end of the day, has the ability to improvise, where Riddler is this meticulous planner. And again, we've seen Penguin improvise all throughout season 1. When he's in like a bind, he kind of finds a way out of it. That's what he's a survivor in that way. And he's just
season 1 was just him clawing his way up from a dishwasher.
Yeah, I mean, Penguin's super impressive that way. So look, we have these different forms of kind of like of villainy with each of them. They have their different ways, like kind of what gets them to the top. So it's meticulous thing. Why not just kill me, Oswald? And then we have this great payoff here. You were the one time I let love weaken me, which of course it calls back to that moment way back when Penguin knows people's weaknesses, and love in many times was a weakness for people.
Oh yeah.
You were the one time I let love weaken me.
I want you around as a constant reminder to never make that mistake again.
Oh yeah,
and then I just have in my notes, Riddler gets Han Solo'd.
It's a cool ending for the Riddler, I think.
It is. It's really cool.
He gets frozen, and so I'll talk more about Riddler's fate later on when we actually see it. So anyway,
okay.
We got the safe house. The safe house showdown.
Yep. Oh God. So let's see. So
Tabitha finds Butch's hand in a box, which is
in a
not
box. Good. What's in the box?
It's a piece of Butch.
Oh God.
Barbara has a gun on her, and basically kind of like a little. And honestly, the loss of Butch, I think, truly does hurt Tabitha here, and that's why she turns on Barbara in this.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Is that Barbara's trying to find a way past this? Essentially, she's trying to find a way to forgive Tabitha. Like, in theory, like, what if we could find a way past this? And then she keeps asking, "Did you kill Butch?" And she's not exactly answering her, which solidifies that.
Mm-hmm. Did you kill Butch?
Yep. I didn't have a choice, and then she says, "There's always a choice," which a little forced here. I got to admit that line a little forced.
Yeah, but I don't mind it. It's fine.
Yeah. Anyway, so then this leads to a fight. You know, we got a lot of whip use. And we're making sure. Hey, remember, Tabitha uses a whip. Remember that, folks.
Yeah, that's important. Key detail to note. And then they fight.
Yep, and then in the end, she electrocutes Barbara with like a light she knocks down because it was raining out, so the water's the floor's all wet, so basically electrocutes her with the lamp, and Barbara dies.
And I gotta say, Dragon, I don't mind this because I think we've done just about all we can do with the Barbara character, and I think the ultimate point to Barbara's storyline throughout the series is that it's kind of like a Walter White-esque kind of like she flew too close to the sun sort of thing. Gilzeem explains that very well. Like she had Tabitha, but she wanted to play queen for a day, and that's ultimately what led to her demise. So I gotta say, Dragon, I like this show just needs to stop bringing back dead people, okay? If it needs to have like any sort of, if it wants to have any sort of legitimacy with taking the storyline seriously, we need to stop bringing back the dead people. Like, there's, of course, stuff like Dilzim and Riddler, like, obviously, we're going to see them again. But, I don't know. I got to say, like, Fish and Barbara, keep them dead. Keep them dead.
I'm in agreement that I agree with the point you made about Barbara, absolutely. And it's kind of a weird time to kind of reach a point where we actually should stop killing people at the same time we introduce the Lazarus Pit, which is all about the antithesis
Oh,
of
God.
that.
Oh,
funny.
fuck me. You're right. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Now, bear in mind, I don't think Barbara's going to take a dip in the Lazarus Pit. I doubt that.
That'd be a stretch, yeah.
But at the same time, at the same time, just based on the fact that people come back, a part of me thinks while we should keep Barbara dead, they're going to bring her back just so they can do kind of. I think basically there's a huge expectation.
I mean, my whole thing is like, if you want to keep doing stuff with Barbara, just don't kill her. You know what I mean? It's as simple as that.
Well, here's the thing we got to address. I guess here, you want to say for speculation, we'll address it here.
I mean, I don't want to spend a ton of time on speculation, so let's.
We don't have a lot of speculons. It's like it's your call.
Let's just do it here, I guess.
Well, of course, there's basically right before this came out, Dave Mizzou hinted that we'd see Harley Quinn.
Okay.
And a lot of people, of course, have speculated, especially with the Barbara Queen thing, that she would become like a proto Harley Quinn. And of course, given her relationship with Jerome previously, in fact, she had like.
I think we could see a Harley Quinn that's not Barbara in the show.
And again, we'll see. They could have changed their minds, which is why they kind of. I don't know. It's unclear, but I'm just saying they could have pulled a Mad Hatter where we referenced Mad Hatter at the end of season 2, and then we saw him in season 3.
Oh God, right. That was a mess.
So I'm saying that. My guess is that's what happened, and somehow they're gonna. Just being a betting man, I bet you they'll bring her back and they'll make her into Harley Quinn. And they bring her back differently than she was before, and that different Barbara coming back will probably be the proto Harley Quinn. I don't know.
Oh God. Okay.
I'm saying if I'm a betting man, where she should stay there, they're gonna bring her back. And that's probably what they're gonna do with her if they bring her back.
All right.
So
all right.
Anyway, so the point is, Barbara dead.
Yep.
Okay.
Right. Let's see. Then we get
There's a Bruce and Alfred. Alfred wakes up.
Yeah. Also, we see on the news that the virus is being cured. There's a 90% cure rate. Okay, so yeah, Alfred's
really
waking up.
Scene here.
Oh yeah. Bruce, this is great. Like Bruce, jumps on Alfred, and he can't really take it. He's like, "Oh, easy there, Master Bruce." And of course, Bruce is just besides himself, apologetic, and Alfred, being the guy we love, Alfred, he's like, "Well, was it your fault? Was it?" It's like he's instantly understandable. Doesn't even take a second thought to question it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, he's super apologetic to Alfred, and for losing his way. He apologizes Alfred for losing his way, and he doesn't know. He's really singling on the fact that again his character arc here. He doesn't know who he is or who I'm supposed to be. That's what he's saying to Alfred. You're a man now, Master B. You're a man now, and you got to find your own path. Now, I think this is wonderful advice Alfred's giving Bruce here. I think it's really set him on the path.
Which, of course, is going to lead to the cliffhanger, obviously.
Absolutely, and I think this scene informs the ending. I think the scene entirely informs the ending for two reasons. One, with Alfred saying the way we end this scene, so two bits in the scene. So Alfred's, he thanks Alfred for all. He thinks Alfred's always sure of himself. He thinks Alfred, you're always sure of who you've been, Alfred. And Alfred reveals, and yeah, we've seen this in the very first season with Alfred's questionable military history. Alfred reveals, I've been in the dark places like you, Bruce. And this is the line I love on the rewatch. I didn't really appreciate it until the second watch.
Go ahead.
You have to find your true north.
That's a great terminology.
Find your
I like
north,
the way that's worded. Yeah,
and let that guide you. And here's the beautiful thing of it is that it's, mine's been you. You find something you care about and protect it at all costs, and you'll never be lost again. And basically, what's so beautiful about this is that, in a way, Alfred is. He's pointing him in the direction of Batman based on this.
Absolutely. I also think he's basically giving Bruce the thumbs up to the basically whatever you need to do, I'll be there to support you with it. So it kind of establishes right away the early Alfred is going to be in on whatever Bruce is going to do with it.
Yeah, he's helping Bruce form his mission.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah. And just with all the Bruce stuff as well, just to get into it just for a second, I just want to say again, I think we've really tied these with Bruce, the Bruce payoff here. We're just really tying everything together well because Jim going on the dark path again was was sort of like Bruce if he continued to work for Raish, and we're seeing kind of alternative paths Bruce could have taken through other story arcs. Just this kind of broadly kind of touch on that.
Also, importantly,
So
yeah, really quick on the news footage, we hear that the effects of the virus will reverberate throughout the city for years to come, which I think again is a really cool way to get us to that status quo of the comics.
And that's the other thing I was talking about, the ending of the scene there, where it's Bruce realizing he's going to need to protect Gotham to kind of get it back. Basically, that's kind of him finding his north there. We're kind of seeding that north right there at the end of that scene.
So, Dragon, you remember Once Upon a Time at the end of season 2, part 1, when we had
like
that
Mad Hatter thing where we knew something was coming.
Yeah, when we had that tease that Tabitha and Selena were going to team up. Well, guess what? Guess what? A season and a half later, we finally get it. Oh God!
I'll bet you what happened, Tiki. I'll bet you it was just them. They had the idea and then they didn't have room for it in the season. So
right. I mean, obviously, Tabitha having the whip, that's something that they want to do, tie that in together. But I do like how it's done. It certainly fits within the context of Selena's story.
I really did like this better on the rewatch. So not that I hated it on the first watch, I think I appreciate it more because it's a really nice bit between the two of them on the rewatch. Is that they're Barbara's not coming back, and she wants more than just surviving. And what's so cool, and looking at the parallels here again, the Bruce Wayne story kind of connects to all the other stories here, where Bruce, she's looking for a path. She's looking for kind of like Bruce is looking for a mission.
She's looking for
and she's going on a journey like Bruce is, but a more dishonest path. She's going for like kind of by the way of the criminal instead of the way of the hero.
Which is pretty classic Batman Catwoman stuff right there. So good job. Good job tying that all together.
Yes, and speaking of that, what's kind of neat is that when she basically gags, she takes the whip and she's like a really quick study at the whip. And it's a nice thing where Tabitha's saying, "Hey, let's get a bite to eat." It's a nice little bit of bonding for them.
Let's go eat, huh?
Right. So it's really nice. What's really nice about that with this mentorship idea is, Fish had, Penguin had Fish, and because it's tying Penguin in with Fish, kind of two things synonymous with each other. And in a way, Tabitha's character in the comics is called Tigress. So Tigress is kind of Catwoman, tiger.
Sure, I can see that.
I'm just saying a little bit of like a thematic kind of little tie there. Okay, so Penguin. Oh yes, this Penguin.
Oh, Iceberg Lounge. We finally got there.
I lost my mind here. So
it's so cool.
And this is nice too. Just with the friendships and the niceties here. So while Tabitha's got a friend, and it's nice they both have lost people. So now they're both loners, and they both kind of found each other in that moment, which is kind of nice. Anyway, so here with Penguin's sharing the plans for his new club with Ivy, and it says the Iceberg Lounge. There's a nice ring to it, doesn't it? Oh yeah, it's like your nickname, the Penguin. It says yes, and for our new centerpiece attraction, which we then.
Oh God.
Oh wait, we don't see it yet. We don't see it.
Yeah, not
centerpiece.
Yeah. They kind of. Yeah.
I'll get to why that's really cool and what that's referencing to later on. But anyway, so the centerpiece attraction, most likely cold. Okay.
So Gordon, Lee leaves Gordon a letter.
So this is what I call the one good Lee moment of season 3.
Okay. Why? Because
I mean that
out of the show.
No, I genuinely mean this. This is like the background I've been waiting for the whole season. We get in this scene.
Okay, fair enough.
She's technically in the scene at the end, but I mean, the fact that
right.
Basically, this whole sequence, starting here to the very end, is like my favorite part. Possibly my favorite part of season 3. Is I love all this stuff we got going here, but this whole little device here, it's what we'll break it down. So essentially, Lee. They found a way to kind of fix Lee in the last moments. It doesn't fix what she's done. I'm saying they kind of find a way to kind of make Lee good at the end. So at least finally, basically the letter consists of this. It's being read as we're seeing, we're checking with everyone in the last moments of the season here, which is a really nice device. So this is my favorite ending of all the seasons.
Oh, I think it's easily the best ending to a season. Oh yeah, for sure.
I can't speak to the finale in total, but it's my favorite ending to the ending to absolutely any of the other seasons.
I mean, season 1's ending was really predictable, and then season 2 was just kind of crazy.
It was definitely. It was such a feel good, and I'm so happy with this. But so finally, she finally understands Gotham is a place where the strongest and most cunning rule. And we see, I'm going to get to why I love this at the end. So we get the Ivy and we see Ivy and Penguin. Yeah, we see Ivy and Penguin.
Yeah,
We go
yeah.
from Jim to the Penguin, which is kind of a nice
Yeah.
little origin piece there. The cost of survival is paid by others. We then see Nigma frozen in the iceberg.
Which is wonderful. I love the visual. I can't wait.
And the two things I hit up on with that, just now we're seeing it. So one, it's a warning for it's a warning for Penguin's enemy. So it has a strategic purpose to it. Not as an attraction. It's like, hey, I have a criminal frozen in my club, but also it's like, this is a guy who tried to go against me, and look what I did to him. No one messed with me.
Right.
And it's also, I'm convinced it's a reference to Paul Dini's idea in the Arkham games, where in Arkham City, the Penguin collected things. He put people and items inside cases, like a zoo, like a human zoo almost. It's really creepy.
Kind of like
so
the Collector.
Yes, it was way before the Collector. Yeah.
Cool,
So that was the little Paul Dini idea, and they kind of homaged it here with that. So it's a little new with the fact it was with the Penguin. Anyway, so following that little thing, everyone feels alone. The virus showed me the city. As truly as it truly was, as I truly was. Then we see Tabitha and Selena both alone, who have found each other in the alone theme there. The virus made me feel reborn. Oh my god, this is so good. It's like we see, but it's revealed that Butch 1 is alive, which is good. Yep. And here's the reveal that just made me lose my. Did you know about this, or did I have to explain?
I do know about it. Yes, I know what it's referencing.
It's revealed, and we knew this guy was coming this whole season.
I know, right? But we had no idea he was already here.
They did this perfectly, and I'm so enamored with this. Is that I love everything about this. This is like another spoken as the Solomon Grundy rule. Basically, they reveal that his Butch Gilzane's real name is Cyrus Gold, which Solomon Grundy's origin is that he was a mobster in Gotham who was killed and thrown into a swamp, and he came back to life as a zombie. That's the origin source. The point is, we have a mobster in Gotham who dies, and he's at least essentially he's brain dead, but at the moment, however he's going to come back, he's still alive by a thread. He's going to come back as Solomon Grundy. That's such a brilliant idea. It's someone we know, and through all this time, we've kind of attached ourselves to, and it's such a cool idea to make us care about Solomon Grundy, and then reveal, hey, it's a huge comics character. We just thought it was an original character this whole time. So it's a brilliant idea.
Remember, Gilzane was a character that I've been championing for a while now. Should be an official canon character within Batman. He's so good, and look, what do you know? He is all right.
I know. I'm so in love with the Butch term. I'm so in love with it. Anyway. So then let's see. The virus showed Gotham its worst self, and the cure reminded us of hope. Change to remember. A chance to remember who we can be rather than who we are. Which, of course, Bruce is thinking about who am I instead of who I can be, which hits upon the idea of Batman. Batman can be anyone. So that vibe of Batman can be anyone. It's like who we can aspire to be versus who we are. And when we're horrible people, we can be better than we are.
Right.
Which Bruce, watching the virus, affected Fallout, basically saying, "Hey, we need a Batman." Essentially, it's what's being telegraphed on the TV there. I don't know if Gotham deserves saving, but I know one thing: if anyone's going to save it, it's you. And in return, I believe it can save you as well. Oh my god! So
that was a good line. That was a good line. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. This whole thing is so well delivered.
You're right. It's absolutely kind of like an atonement for all the shit that Lee has put.
Like every scene in this season with Lee was not good, but this scene it wasn't good. This scene here is just so fantastic.
It's kind of just like, oh shit. Well, I guess we're right on track with how we felt about Lee from before now. All right.
Yes, I know they did the impossible somehow. It's like, again, they did terrible stuff with it. They fixed her somehow.
Right.
I don't know how they did. It's
crazy. It's crazy.
It's like they gave her an antidote, but she's written just like she should be. And this is again, folks, if we're being harsh man back, this is the proof that she can be super fantastic.
Totally.
Okay, so let's see. Then we, if anyone could save it, it could save you as well. And again, thanks to Bruce, because again, in the grand scheme of things, of course, Gordon's going to be kind of saved by Batman helping the city, which is kind of nice.
Oh yeah.
We have this full circle shot, and this is kind of neat. That when Lee entered, the end of episode 1 or the beginning of episode 2, wherever, when Lee is leaving Gotham, we do a full circle thing where now when she returned to Gotham, now she's leaving Gotham. Kind of a similar shot. We're in the exact same.
Yeah, sure. Then
maybe one day it will will send you back to me. Now, what I love most about this whole thing, I'm going to get it on right now, is that I love that it's personifying Gotham like Snyder. This whole scene is written just like how Scott Snyder would write it.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it was like she's personifying the city, talking about how it makes or breaks people. Just that's literally how Snyder thinks of Gotham. It's like, yeah, they get it. Finally, 3 seasons, they get it.
And appropriate to get it in the Court of Owls season too.
I know, that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm so in love with this ending. So anyway, so then Love Always, Lee. And then we have this beautiful. If they couldn't get any more emotion out of me, then we get the Bullock thing. so Bullock's taking some aspirins. They have this nice little apology scene. It's a nice, humble little apology scene.
Mm-hmm.
You threw me against the train.
I felt like a freaking cartoon character.
Then Jim's going, this great. Sorry about that. How's Lee? Lee's gone. What are you going to be? Right. Okay. I mean, are you okay? He says, yeah, we'll be. Want to get a drink in? It's noon. I didn't ask what time it was. I asked if you wanted to get a drink.
Yeah.
And then we have this little throwaway line here that, oh yeah, Tetch is alive. And I wrote my notes somehow. It's amazing.
Right. Well, he stumbled into a hospital. They stitched him up. It's fine.
Hey, I'm glad he's alive. I mean, there's still some sort of aftermath. Like, come on. I think they put it in there because we realized, we can't just have Gordon just immediately murder Matt and leave again. It's a little too callous. We do horrible things to him. We just can't kill him. So let's see. So after, then we have the moment here.
So we have a great sort of like they're just bickering back and forth with each other, kind of grilling each other as they're walking out of the GCPD. It's beautiful. As much as we love
Lunch, we love all the fun Gordon Bullock moments. I'm sure there's a lot of great ones in the 2 of the 3 seasons here, but this one might be the most heartfelt one.
I think it might be. I think this might be the ultimate Gordon Bullock moment. I think it might.
As I'm saying, while I was watching for the first time, again, it keeps building upon building, just getting me gripped into the thing. It's like, oh my god! I was like, this is such a beautiful little ending for Gordon here. It's like, hey, I just want to get back some good old fashioned police work. And something that doesn't involve secret cults or blood viruses.
Mm-hmm.
Well, everyone's on 24-hour shifts because Gotham's in such bad shape right now. We could hit the streets like this is the moment that got me. We could hit the streets like a couple of beat cops and see if we could stir up some trouble. And it's kind of beneath me being the best cop you've ever worked. He's tossing the sentimentality that again he helped save the day with saying, "Yeah, I like you too, Bullock," in a way. Just kind of saying, "Oh, me, I was saying whatever crap I could, like a hostage negotiation, whatever crap I get you, not to kill me."
Mm-hmm.
And I just realized it's perfect. That's what this scene is so perfect for those two characters. I was like, and then we ended the best. Oh my god! This if I had to pick one bit out of all as much, I love that moment with Gordon Bullock. This moment.
We have an alley scene that very much mirrors the first episode, very much mirrors the first scene of the first episode, of course, the classic Bruce Wayne origin.
A family of 3 are accosted by this is the message of Batman here in one scene.
Yep.
A family of 3 are accosted by a mugger. And the mugger's then he's brutally beaten and taken down quickly. Like it's in dark, we barely see the guy. He's taken down. We hear the punches land, and then by a ski masked vigilante.
I knew exactly what it was, Dragon. I was just like, oh snap! Oh, they did it.
I got my wish. I've been waiting for this. And then he then disappears, and then we pan beautifully up. And I love the score. They basically do the Gotham theme, but they make it the best they've ever done. It's like they have the extended oh god! So then we're atop a gargoyle, and we have my god! They even on the ski mask. They even gave him the triangle eyes ticket. They gave him the triangle eyes. And it's that Gotham theme's playing, and I love this. And this is like adding to the message of Batman 2, whereas while it's a proto-Batman, it's the ski mask year 1 kind of style of Batman here. That Batman Begins year 1 kind of style. It's Bruce Wayne wearing that signature black turtleneck that he wore when he went up against Jerome. That black turtleneck. On top of a ski mask with like a long black awesome coat. Kind of like I've always pointed like, hey, Affleck's wearing a long coat like Batman. It's that sort of thing. It's like he's finally it's like that. It literally looks like anyone could be Batman with that look. That's the message of Batman. You get even the proto stages of Batman. He unmasks himself. It's Bruce, and the music's getting this really hopeful kind of like crescendo, I guess, with the proto Batman. It's like he's looking so satisfied with himself. He looks like he has like that. He's found some purpose. He's going true north with it, like Alfred told him to. He's in the right direction. He's protecting Gotham. That's what he's protecting, and he'll die for it. And we have the reveal of of the city of Gotham, and the spotlights are up again, the proto-bat signal, the spotlights going up, storm clouds are brewing. It's beautiful and it's perfect, and that's the end of Gotham.
I gotta say, Dragon, if that was the series finale, I think it would be a fitting series finale.
I could live with that, honestly.
Yeah,
I'm glad we're getting more. I could live with that because based on that ending, the ending had me so much. It was like, that's the most beautiful ending I've ever seen on Gotham. Oh God, I was so engrossed by it.
All right, so I don't want to get too heavily into the spec because, of course, I'm sure we'll do like a whole season 4 spec video once it gets closer around. But obviously, the Sullivan Grundy thing is going to be big. Obviously, the League of Shadows thing is going to be big. I definitely think that Alfred is going to be very much in with Bruce developing the Batman persona. That's something I'm really looking forward to. Is Alfred and Bruce developing Batman and seeing like the very early stages of that. Let's see, of course, the Iceberg Lounge. I'm sure they're gonna like comically build Riddler, like like we're gonna like see a lot of comedy with the Riddler.
Well, like the mid-season finale is gonna be Firefly's gonna walk in there, she's gonna like melt the ice. That's what's gonna happen.
Right, exactly.
Either that or someone's gonna like try to free Riddler by breaking the power grid or something, so it's gonna like mess with the power, so the air conditioning's gonna be off.
As for Gordon, I would honestly be shocked if he didn't become commissioner in season 4. I would almost even be okay if there's a time jump in season 4 and he's already commissioner by the time season 4 starts.
Well, we definitely got to bump him up to lieutenant or something at the very least.
Right.
Because that's what he is in year 1. He's lieutenant in year 1. So
I would be satisfied with not seeing Lee until like a season series finale type situation or something like that. I don't think we need Lee on the show. Barbara, I think, is dead, except, there's the Lazarus Pit. But like you said, out of all the people that are going to be Lazarus Pitted, she's one of the least likely. So I would say let Barbara rest. With Tabitha and Selina, I definitely think that's going to be a cool sort of like mirror to Alfred and Bruce, where, Tabitha's molding her into Catwoman the same way Alfred's molding Bruce into Batman. Let's see it. As far as some of the villains, of course, we've got... I think every season they kind of do the Jerome arc, right? So we've got to have some sort of Jerome thing.
I want the season to end with Jerome.
That could be. I could see that. Let's see. I'm trying to... with Penguin, I definitely think Penguin is going to very much rise to become the leader of Gotham again.
The first episode of the next season is going to be Penguin-centric. That's all really.
Yes. No. And that's about all the spec I've got, Dragon. I mean, a lot of things are very up in the air, but in a good way, not in like oh my God, a whole fucking busload of crazy people, including a doppelganger Bruce, are on the loose.
Well, here's what I got. So I'm just going to keep it very simple bullet points here. Well, on the whole, what I'd like season 4 to be, because honestly, again, they're getting to a point where we're going to wonder like what the big plan is for them. Like they're going to go for 4 or 5 seasons, like what they're just playing it by ear, or they're going to like hopefully get if they have an ending in mind. Well, we know what the ending is going to be, if
they're going to like do it like Walking Dead and just drag it out for as long as they possibly can.
The difference is, again, Bruce Wayne growing up to the Batman age would serve them. They could possibly kind of change their permanent. It's a possibility. It depends like how, if they want to do a Batman show, they could grow into it. It depends on how. If they can keep the momentum going and not lose kind of the crux of the show at the same time. Anyway, on the whole, what I want to do, and again, if you're going to do kind of I want to do a cross between, I want mainly year 1 to be next season. I want next season to be a lot of year 1, because we have the ski mask Bruce Wayne, which I think we do a lot of Gordon reluctantly working with, possibly working with a vigilante type character like that. I think, again, it'd be kind of neat to do Penguin ushering kind of the freaks of Gotham. That would be your long Halloween type story, which basically introduces freaks into the criminal world. Mm-hmm. I'm saying essentially that's what that story does, and Penguin is really factored into that story. But let's change it up a little. Basically, year 1 meets Long Halloween. That's just overall I'd like the season to be. With I think the main villain should be Penguin and Ra's al Ghul.
I definitely think the main one's going to be Ra's.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying I think it'd be kind of neat. What I'm hoping for is that with the year 1 side of
things,
can we
please actually have Two-Face this season?
I'm getting to that.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
With the Penguin, or I want to mention this with Penguin. I would like Penguin to be kind of like because we don't really have Carmine Falcon. We technically have, so we could always do that year one side with Carmine Falcon. Regardless, Penguin's gonna have competition, so that's probably gonna be Falcon.
Sure.
Regardless, what I would like to see is Bruce has never really had to deal with the Penguin. I'd like to see kind of this ski mask here, kind of trying to take down the big boss being Penguin. That's where he would run some crossover with Gordon. That's where he has to get into some questionable territory with working with a vigilante possibly. And I would love it if we actually did something Harvey. This would be if we did year one, we welcome Harvey Dent, because Harvey Dent, we could start the descent of Harvey Dent. We'd end with like the season ending could be, if not Jerome, then we'd hint at Two-Face at the very end. Basically, we actually develop Harvey Dent this season. Then at the end, we hint at like the split personality developing and getting out of control at the very end.
Okay.
Like we don't scar him with acid, but the split personality is out of control.
Right. Sure.
Okay. I want a scene where we have Bruce visiting Jerome in Arkham.
Gotcha.
Just like we have a scene in a Snyder comic like that, so I love to see him kind of.
Which is, of course, like a good sort of callback to the Snyder sort of Bruce and Joker dynamic.
Exactly, and there's like this great scene in one of the comics where like Bruce Wayne, not Batman, Bruce Wayne visits the Joker, and it's an amazing scene. I love it.
That sounds really cool.
Which would fit this show very well, because again, he knows Bruce Wayne. I mean, that'd be kind of noticing there's something off. He basically could sniff out the Batman in the one scene.
Right.
Last, I guess again, Ra's al Ghul would be kind of the main Bruce Wayne target antagonist. I'd say second half could be probably Ra's. Either first or one half's going to be Ra's, one half's going to be Bruce dealing with Penguin along with Gordon. And if anything else, if we're going to bring back the court in like an arc, we could do it with a Doppel Bruce taking over the Court of Owls.
Okay.
And that's really all I got for again. It's broad stuff for season 4. That's all I got.
All right. So I guess I'll just fire into some quick final thoughts. Yeah, it was really interesting doing these last few episodes this way, like kind of watching them back after all the insanity kind of like coming on. This season was crazy, folks. This season was a roller coaster ride. It gave us some of the best Gotham that we've ever had, and also some of the worst Gotham we've ever had. There were moments where I wanted to quit the show entirely, and there were moments where I wanted to praise the show. Most of the time in the same episode. So, yeah, I mean, it's just been a crazy ride. I do think going forward, the show would benefit from... Like, this is kind of why I'm okay with characters like Barbara and Fish Mooney being killed off, is that we really do need to thin out the cast, and characters like Lee leaving the show and stuff like that. Like, I think if season 4 focuses a little bit more on the characters, like zeroes in on the characters, I think that's the one thing that season 3 kind of went off the rails with, was having way too many characters and way too many juggling plot lines at certain points. And of course, Lee was just like the big thorn in the side of the whole season. So I think this show's on a good track. I think, 3 seasons in, I definitely think is sooner than most people were anticipating us getting to a proper Batman year 1 style timeline. And we're here. So a lot of possibility for the future, a lot of ways we can go with it. Definitely not the cleanest season. You know what I mean? A lot of messy, rough around the edges stuff. But also, I'd say this episode, like you said, Dragon, I think this is definitely, if not the best finale, it's definitely the best ending to a season we've had, because it thematically ties everything together very well. It's got a really, really good hook and cliffhanger. And yeah, I'm pretty satisfied all around.
I also was satisfied. It was a super satisfying. It was a satisfying finale with for a very enjoyable season. On the whole, I mean, season 3 was a real delight. I mean, again, honestly, aside from Lee, season was great.
Like I said, Lee was like the big thorn in the side.
That's the thing, because I know, like, I understand what you're saying there. Like, it was kind of messy in places, but I think the messiness was like season 2. I felt was more messy, but this season just like aside from that one element, everything else was great, honestly. But
sure.
I'm sure if we were looked at with a fine tooth comb, we might find a little bit more. But on the whole, I think it was at least consistently solid. It wasn't like weird kind of things left and right like in season 2. Not the season 2 wasn't bad either. Just, again, inconsistent. That's what I'm saying. But the race idea, again, I'm just going to feed on my big thing with this season, why I really love this season, that probably more than the other two, is that, the race idea was inspired choice, and I love that the court kind of got us to that Snyder sweet spot, basically doing stuff with the court of owls and bringing like a kind of a big tie-in like ratio goal we never thought we'd get this early on. It gets us to that Scott Snyder sweet spot. I've always said from the first season, I've always read into in the first season. Now it seems like I don't know. Yeah, I think there's finally kind of looking at kind of the natural logic of it. Well, if we're doing a show about the city, we got to do like kind of follow someone who. But I don't want to say they're following Snyder only, but I'm saying they're kind of in tune with what Snyder's always been about with Gotham. You got to look at Gotham as a personified city, and that's what they're doing this season. Look at the themes of Gotham. What Gotham's all about. They just hit that sweet spot I've always wanted this show to hit ever since day one. That's why I was so thrilled with this season. This episode, in the end, hit upon that like visually in spades in every aspect of that lead letter onwards. Just hit upon everything I've ever wanted from this show. And it's everything I wanted the show to be, and again even fixed Lee in the last moments with that whole
somehow.
Ending. And it amazed me. And again, this season I was so thrilled with this season. Again, everything is I wonder if Scott Snyder watches the show and he's really thrilled. I know he's like consulted a little bit here and there, so he's probably have to watch the show.
Mm-hmm.
But honest, I was really thrilled that they're absolutely in the right direction on Gotham right now. I'm super excited for season 4. But this season was an absolute delight. And again, this ending of this episode, this ending just kind of speaks volumes for what this episode is. Like I'll watch this episode over and over again just for that ending. To be honest with you, but it's really a lot of fun. Really good season.
All right, take us out.
So remember, kids, no matter how dark and scary the world might be right now, there will be light. There will be light.
Until next season when we go exploring Gotham yet again.
Lee!
I know, right? I was like trying to think of something, but that's all I got. Lee!